I've been noticing myself buying gear a little more often than I would have preferred. I bought some new boom poles because my old one, the soldering joints kind of got screwed up. I think I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet, but I decided to buy a new boom pole, the K-Tech Classic internal coil that's actually 12 feet, so I can go a little longer. And I also bought some extra stuff here. These are actually more of like I wanted to buy it rather than I needed it, but I kind of had the expenses for it, and the boom poles was kind of a necessity. So I just kind of did that because I had a gig coming up, and I didn't think I can be able to fix my boom pole in time. So I decided to buy it, and ironically, that is the most expensive part of the purchase I did here. But other than that, I bought some ultra bounces. I'm here building the frame because I kind of want to test it out. I want to see how well my ultra bounce does, and it does well. Obviously, it's good, and I didn't think it came with a bag for it or anything or ties, and it came with everything, so that's great. And this is a pretty cool ultra bounce here. I know that I'm using C stands instead of combo stands, but I don't have any combo stands. And my frame that I bought is kind of designed so you can put it on C stands if you don't have combo stands. So that's the idea. The 6x6 works good, and I tore it down and I put the 8x8 up, and it obviously like it's very dangerous to do by yourself. This is obviously a two-man type equipment to use, so I highly recommend more than one person do it if you're doing the whole frame. So I think every grip and gaffer knows this. So uh, hopefully, if you don't know this, hopefully this will teach you, because it was pretty dangerous. Like I was tying everything up and I was making sure it was as safe as possible. The sun and the wind came in and out, and I think it might have almost fell. I don't remember, but I think I was okay for the meantime. And especially like using only C stands, it wasn't the best. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, and I was able to use it on the next gig. So I was pretty glad that I bought it, and I think it was worth buying. I bought a Tilta Nucleus Nano motor, and I really tried to get it to work here. If you saw my previous video that I posted up, I had trouble just getting the motor to actually like work together with the controller. But I gave up and I decided to put rope onto the diffusion for the frames. I have an 8x8, 6x6, and a 4x4, so I thought I'd put ropes on all of them to kind of save time, which I'm glad I did because I had a gig coming up, and it was unpaid gig, but you know I wanted to bring as much as I can. They brought me on to be a gaffer, and I want to make sure I had everything I could for the gig, and I legitimately pretty much used all the stuff I had. Even though the DP kept saying, you know, we don't need much, we don't need much, we don't need much, I still used up like all my resources throughout the entire production. Not every day, but I used up a lot of resources. I even decided to learn how to tie some knots. The one knot I wanted to learn the most was the trucker's hitch, and I was glad I was actually able to learn it. So it was a pretty simple knot to learn, actually. So Southwest Missouri here, the Ozarks, we're trying to kind of create this film community because it's been like 10 years since we had a tax incentive, and we're trying to bring like companies back to come film in this area because Missouri is actually a pretty good place to film stuff. Things are a little bit cheaper here, and there's a lot of people here who love their craft that ours tends to leave, and we don't get any good talent here. And those who are good, you know, we either kind of struggle here and there, we're hustling all the time, or there isn't really anyone else that can do it and they're busy all the time, or they only do, you know, bigger gigs outside of Springfield. So they're trying to create this community here, and this is a little organization that they put together. It's kind of a networking type event where we have a few speakers, and it's legitimately is mostly networking. They like allocated like a whole hour for people to just hang around and meet each other and stuff. And it's not just filmmakers, it's actors, it's everyone who's in the industry in some way or form. And it's a lot bigger than like you might think. It got crowded really fast. There's John there. He's the one who's kind of organizing everything together, and he's kind of, you know, going through the rundown of why they're creating this organization, and this event was totally free, and like that's very charitable for anyone to do really, because they provided food, they even provided beer, so they rented out this base, which is the Springfield soundstage. If you know anything about that, if you watch my previous videos, you might have seen me do there. He's kind of building a new, extending the wall there. That's why there's all wood there. He's extending his infinity wall, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, after about an hour after opening, it got really crowded. There was like a lot of people who RSVP'd, and we didn't have enough chairs, so there were some people who were standing. Me, I was volunteering, so I just kind of walked around, helped around a little bit. There wasn't much to do, but during the screening of some videos, some films that some of them made, which some of them are State of 48. If you know anything about that, then you know. But I was kind of stuck behind the curtains, just going through the lights, turning it off and on whenever the speaker came and talked about the next movie or whatever. And yeah, I wasn't able to see any of it, but whatever. I'm just kind of there to just be there. I networked a little bit. I'm not much of a networker guy, but I'm not afraid to talk to people, but I just don't really go and talk. Like it's just not quite in my nature to go out and talk. Hey, how you doing? Who are you? It's I don't know. I think that's just like the old me, the old style of who I am. But for the most part, I kind of know a lot of these people here. Some of them I don't know, obviously, but whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool.